Hello, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of A Different Point of View. I'm Kunita, your host, and without further ado, let's get into the next topic. Well, today's topic is actually part two of my last video, and in my last video, I discussed the difference between being a Black Republican and being a Black Christian conservative. So, um, I felt like I needed to add more, and the goal for this video is to really provide a lot of separation from me and a lot of Black conservatives on YouTube because I fundamentally disagree with them in a lot of areas. So if you look at somebody like your Larry Elder or let's say your Candace Owens, and I'm bringing them up because people often lump me with them, and a lot of my friends and family, they lump me with them, and I am nowhere near them. So I'm going to point out some of the major differences between me and them. But let me point out what we have in common, and then I'll point out what the differences are. So I'm not in disagreeing with them because they're conservative. I consider myself a conservative. I don't fundamentally disagree with them because they vote Republican. I often vote Republican. And I don't fundamentally disagree with them because they voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump not once, but twice. So that's not why I disagree with them, and that's not why I have a problem with them. I have a problem with them because they weaponize their blackness against other Black people. That is where we really disagree. I am for Black people. I'm pro-Black. I want Black people to win. I want what's best for Black people. So I'm saying to my Black is like, hey, Black people, from one Black man to another, one Black person to another, wake up, let's win, let's work together, let's succeed. No, they weaponize their Blackness against Black people. So when they come up with their criticism of Black people, they say, hey, Black people do this and Black people do that. And even if it's true, even if Candace Owens will say, well, you're talking about Black Lives Matter, but guess what? Black people are way more likely to be killed by another Black person than a police officer. So what are you talking about, Black people? Even if what she's saying is true, she's saying it in a spirit of, I'm coming against you. And she's saying it in a spirit of, hey, white people, hide behind my Blackness. And if you hide behind my Blackness, white people, white conservatives, or whoever, I will absolve you of the role that you played and why Black people kill each other in the first place. I will absolve you of any racism that you may have committed against Black people. I will absolve you of any role that you play. I will absolve you of any responsibility. I will absolve you of any accountability. That's why she does it. But if I can say the exact same thing that she says, but I'm saying it, hey, listen, wake up. We have to do better. Minister Farrakhan can say the exact same thing, but Farrakhan is saying it from a spirit of love. She's saying it from a spirit of, I want us to do better. I want us to win. They are not. So that is where we separate. And that is where it's a shame. The other big difference is that my Blackness is not for sale. Candace Owens, Larry Elder, other Black conservatives, they understand that white people will pay you a lot of money to be their attack dog and to weaponize against others. They will pay you a lot of money for that. There's no money in this pro-black stuff. If I go to a black college, if I go to an HBCU and I'm like, yeah, and the black man, we need to do this, we need to come together, we need to stick together, they're not going to pay me like that. And if I go and I do a speech. But if I go to one of those Republican conventions, or if I go on the Tucker Carlson show or Laura Ingraham show, they will pay me big. They will pay me a lot of money. So there is some financial gain in selling your blackness, because I don't know if you ever noticed this, they only call Candace Owens when it's time to attack other black people. That's the only time that they call her. She has become the attack dog for black people. Hey, wow, this black person, hey, come on, Candace, go, sick him, Candace, sick him, Candace, and she's on it. And again, a lot of things that she says is true, but she says it in the spirit of, because see, the difference, what I notice about Candace and Larry Elder, they only point out the problems. They never have any answers. Where if I listen to the Minister Farrakhan and I listen to other black people, they at least Dr. Umar Johnson, Boyce Watkins, others, okay? Tashik, whatever, I forgot his name. What other black people, they have answers. Candace, Larry Elder, otherwise they never have answers. So that is another big difference between me and them. Another big difference between me and other black conservatives is that my conservatism, and I said this in the last video, my conservatism comes out of my Christianity. It comes out of the fact that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. So it doesn't come out of politics. So I'm not obsessed with who's controlling the House and who's controlling the Senate, and is the president Democrat or Republican, or how many Republicans versus Democrats are in the state legislature, because Christ orders my steps. So I'm not as concerned about that. So again, this is where we fundamentally part. This is where we fundamentally disagree. So the other reason why I'm making this video, because when people hear, or I tell people that I'm a black conservative and I vote Republican, I don't fit into a box. Candace Owens, this is where we disagree. Candace Owens, Larry Elder, your other conservatives, they feel that the Democratic Party has brainwashed black people, has indoctrinated black people, and programmed black people, and black people are silly because of that. That is true. I agree. This is where we disagree, though. The Democratic Party is the enemy to black people, and the Republican Party is the answer. No, the Republican Party is not the answer. The Democratic Party is not the answer. The Republican Party is not the friend of black people. The Democrat Party is the enemy. White supremacy is the enemy of black people, and not a particular party. There's no political party that is the answer to black people. Black people, you are the answer. And what Candace Owens and Larry Elder do, and the other black conservatives do, what they're doing is that they are exchanging one form of brainwashing for another. See, they think that they're free thinkers, right? I'm a free thinker because I'm not like other black people who vote Democrat. I'm not like other black people who are liberals. Oh no, I'm a free thinker. No, you're not a free thinker. You're just being programmed by a different political party. Switching people who program you doesn't make you a free thinker. Because if I look at your average Democrat, right? I can tell what you're going to vote. I know what your talking points are. I know how you feel on a particular issue. If you are a Republican, same thing. I know how you feel on an issue. I know what your talking points are. I don't fit into a category. I confuse the heck out of people. I'm pro-black, but I'm conservative. That doesn't add up to people. I'm pro-black, but I'm Christian. How could you be pro-black and be Christian? That's crazy. Because a lot of my pro-black friends, they say Christianity is the enemy of black people because Christianity was used to enslave black people. So how could you be Christian and be pro-black? That's another video. But the other reason why I really feel like I needed to make this video is because a lot of people that I deal with, they're very, very narrow-minded. When I say black conservative, and when I say that I voted for Donald Trump, that's it. They can't even hear anything else that I gotta say. Everything else, my entire being, who I am, is completely disqualified. It doesn't mean anything. The fact that I'm married to a black woman means nothing. Voted for Donald Trump. You're an Uncle Tom. You're a coon. You're a bucker. You're a sellout. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the fact that I live in a black neighborhood, a black and Latino neighborhood. Doesn't matter. I can afford to live in a white neighborhood. I have money to live in a white neighborhood, but I choose to live in a black neighborhood. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything that I send my kids to a black school. Doesn't matter. I'm an Uncle Tom, I'm a coon. And guess what? Again, I can afford to send my kids to a white school. I do this by choice. Means nothing. It doesn't mean that everybody that I hire, everybody that I employ are black. My accountant, black. My lawyer is black. Okay? Anybody that comes and fixes on my home is black. Plumber, black. People who paint my house, black. People who fix my radiator, black. I mostly employ black people. That is irrelevant to them. Irrelevant. The fact that I have a daughter and a wife, so there's a lot of black beauty products being bought in my home. I drive past 10 Asian beauty supply stores to go to a black beauty supply store. Doesn't matter. You voted for Trump, you're an Uncle Tom and a coon. This is what I have to deal with. The vast majority of my money is put in a black bank. Irrelevant. I have been called an Uncle Tom and a coon by black people who are married to white women, live in white neighborhoods, send their kids to white schools and brag about it. They brag about their kid being the only black in school, but I'm called an Uncle Tom. They have their money in white banks, the same white banks who gentrify your neighborhoods, but I'm called an Uncle Tom. I deal with this all the time, okay? I am all about black people winning. And if there is a policy that I think that doesn't help black people, I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican, I'm going to speak out against it. So, those are my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. Oh, please support my shirt, Mental Slavery. You can find it in the description box. Please like, share, and always subscribe. This is another episode of A Different Point of View. Peace. The chair is yours, YouTube. Make your comments.